because far too long, agriculture and food security has not been prioritized in our country. And it has, in many respects, placed Grenada, Carriacou, and Petit Martinique in a very vulnerable position. And so it is important for us to emphasize, and our presence here today is testimony of this, that we take the revitalization and the growth of agriculture and the stability that food security brings as a matter of significant priority for the country. And I would just say at this time it is perhaps the single most important priority for Grenada, Carriacou, and Petit Martinique.
Well, I am very happy to know that Grenada's Prime Minister Deacon Mitchell is on the ball. I'm happy to know that all of the issues that we've been talking about, food security and the likes, are being taken seriously more than ever now. Yesterday, Deacon Mitchell, who of course is the Prime Minister of Grenada, says for far too long, agriculture and food security has not been prioritized in Grenada. As a matter of fact, Deacon, I would go more far to say that it has not been prioritized enough in this Caribbean region of ours, within CARICOM, although Guyana has been extending a hand to these Caribbean countries for a very long time in coming to plant in Guyana. And so he says it has placed Grenada in a vulnerable position. And so it is important for them to emphasize and to take the revitalization of the growth and the significance of this undertaking as a priority for the country. Let me tell you all something. Trump has handed us a good deal. What is that deal? Liberation. Liberation from the American products. Liberation from the American GMO products that we all bawl and cry after to say that we have NCDs in the Caribbean, which are non-communicable diseases because of those products. He's handed us a gift. We need to take it, open it, use it. You understand what I'm saying? This has become an emergency for the Caribbean. And the leaders need to take it seriously. One has already started to take it in that direction. And I know more would follow. And we need more like Mr. Mitchell from Grenada. But let's listen to what he had to say.
Because there is a lot of idle land in Grenada. A lot of land that has not been planted since Hurricane Ivan. That's 20 years ago. And so there is significant opportunity for us to ramp up production throughout the length and breadth of Grenada. To be more ambitious than just saying in 3 years' time we'll have 100 and the capacity to do 185 plants. Because there is a lot of idle land in Grenada. A lot of land that has not been planted since Hurricane Ivan. That's 20 years ago. And so there is significant opportunity for us to ramp up production throughout the length and breadth of Grenada.
The Prime Minister further urged the agronomists to think beyond supplying Grenada alone.
And I want to emphasize, we are not just planting for ourselves. Within the OECS and the wider CARICOM region, there are countries that are even more vulnerable than Grenada because, for example, places like Antigua, St. Kitts and Nevis, they don't even have water. Almost all of their drinking water is produced via reverse osmosis. And so we have to appreciate that we are in a unique position to not just plan for ourselves, but to plan for our brothers and sisters in the region who may not be able to do so. So I don't want us to limit our ambition to just attempting to satisfy our needs.
Focusing on the likely impact of the tariff that would be imposed by the U.S. government and how that would affect in terms of the input. As Prime Minister would have indicated, 90% of everything we import, including food. And as such, we have been mandated to ramp up and refocus our budget that have just been approved towards the issue of food security and production. So, in fact, we are looking at areas that we could collaborate with the private sector. And certainly the area of poultry is a key area. We already have a policy. We have a consultant right now on ground that would be submitting a report within 2 weeks' time so that we could ramp up the support in terms of providing chickens and feed and or whatever additional input and support so that the farmers themselves could ramp up the production of poultry. We are also working with the large, we have two large poultry producers, and they have the capacity of 75,000 and 50,000 each. So again, we're looking at how we could support them in terms of feed, in terms of input of hatching eggs and other sort of inputs so that they too also could ramp up production as it relates to poultry.
Your comments in the section below. Remember to like, share, and subscribe.